everybody, and welcome back to my channel. And a big thank you to everyone that's been watching my videos. I really do appreciate all of the support I receive from people. I'm sorry about this. I'm putting just one more. I think I'll just put one more coronavirus thing up. Sorry about the shaking of the camera. I'm in bed at the moment. I think I've got coronavirus. Hey, I had to wait about 6 hours to go to the toilet for number 2 today. We ran out of mongrel. Anyway, I've got this chart on here. This is what you find on YouTube. You're going to have to, you used to just type in coronavirus and you get this up. You get it straight away. But now what you have to do is put coronavirus statistics. So what's going on there? Why is YouTube push this, the likes of this, right at the back? Because it's letting you know what's going on around the world. So, as you can see in front of you, we'll just look at this panel here. And you can see the UK is there. And I don't know if any people can notice anything. I'll just move it slightly up to the top to show you China. You know, China with 81,015 cases with 3,213 deaths and 66,911 recovered. If I'm not going to say if, when we get that high. I wonder what our statistics are going to be, because they're not too good at the moment, because at the present now, as per 1,000 capita, at 1,391, we have 35 deaths and only 20 recovered up to now. If you take a look at Sweden there with 1,040 with only 3 deaths and 1 recovered. Netherlands 1,135 with 20 deaths and 2 recovered. So if you take a look at this, you know, Norway 1,254 with only 3 deaths and 1 recovered. That is balmy, isn't it? But when you come to the UK, 1,391 with 35 deaths and only 20 recovered. Take a look at Switzerland, 14 deaths with double the amount nearly of what we've got and only 14 deaths. United States, 3,017 with 68 deaths. I mean, if you do your arithmetic, you'll see that the UK is actually not doing too good. You know, the amount of deaths we're getting already at such an early stage for us. Or is it that the government's figures have, you know, they've been fiddling for the past couple of months? You know, when we accused Iran and China of fiddling their figures. Because I did say, if you look at my last videos, I did say, you're going to see a rapid increase as the government, because it's starting to become noticeable now, so the government's starting to put out the true figures. Bit at a time though. They're not going to put them all out in one go. And because, obviously, the reason is, Boris Johnson doesn't want to spend the money. He's tried to rid the society of the vulnerable, but now today they're coming out saying they're going to help us. Sorry about that. But because he's now saying that pensioners should self-isolate for up to 4 months or longer even, and people with illnesses such as mine, what I have emphysema, heart failure, all this lot goes on with me anyway. So I do know that if I did cop it, I probably wouldn't survive it. But then again, I'm not sure if I've got it or I've had it, because my daily life is coughing. I get a sore throat through coughing. I get cracking headaches and stuff like that. So I get lots of flu-like symptoms on a regular basis. The only thing I watch for is when my mucus turns to a light green, then I know I've got a infection. If it goes dark green, I've got multiple infections. So that is me. But as you can see on the chart there, sorry, I'm just going to have a drink. As you can see on the chart there, the figures don't look too good for the UK at an early stage. I mean, if that's accelerating and that's the trend, this country's going to have a lot more deaths than any other country in the world, by the looks of it. Is it that we have a lack of ventilators, sorry. Is it that we have a lack of that? But then again, I was only listening to the idiot Boris Johnson saying that, you know, the NHS is the best in the world still. It's not handling this tiny little pandemic that we've got at the moment, is it now? I mean, think about it. Some people were saying the question of, I don't know, well, basically, if you take a look at my past videos, I was referring to what the news channels were saying. When we had 590 cases, so the government told us, so NHS England told us, we have 590 cases with 10 deaths, with just 10 deaths. That was the other day. We've now got 35 deaths. With 10 deaths the other day, 590 cases. Now that was the official news, NHS England. Then, on another news channel, they actually went out and they spoke to a lady that's self-isolated. And she's been waiting over a week to be tested. And her herself was saying the NHS is so, you know, under stress with the coronavirus. She said, with the coronavirus. So if that's all the NHS can handle is 590 cases, we're in deep trouble. But today on the news, I've just noticed Boris Johnson, you know, the health secretary, oh, he couldn't wait. It's a Tory dream, isn't it? To spend billions of pounds of taxpayers' money on private healthcare. He's going to pay the private hospitals to take it because the NHS can no longer handle it. And might I add, whose fault is that? You've got to take a look at it. I mean, come on, people. You can see this coronavirus is letting people that probably voted for this government to see just how badly this government's done over the past 10 years, how they've destroyed our infrastructure on NHS and everything else in the name of privatisation. And even along with the coronavirus, they're covering it up because they don't want to, you know, destroy the thought of privatisation being the best thing for human life. Believe me, privatisation is the worst thing for human life because then, you know, when it comes to money, that is it. Nothing else matters. So that is the state of affairs. But then again and all, take a look at the United States. You know, Donald Trump, a couple of days ago, didn't even want to mention it. It's just, good on him, he hasn't got coronavirus. And he supposedly came in contact with people with coronavirus. I think that's just a bit of media hype to try and make Donald Trump look a bit like Superman. He's impregnable. So, but if you take a look at America's response, the same as the British response, the same as quite a few other countries like Germany and France, you take a look at the response. Now, all you have to do is just take a look at the Chinese response. The Chinese response there, they stopped it. 81,015 cases. That's at present date. That's today, an hour ago it was updated. Sorry, 11 minutes ago it was updated. And the Chinese have stopped it. They've got 66,000 recovered, the highest of anyone there. But only 3,213 deaths. If you take a look at the United Kingdom, sorry about that. If you take a look at the United Kingdom, we have 35 deaths per 1,000 capita. So what's that work out at? Per 1,000 capita. So what does the Chinese one work out? Do your sums? Sorry about the coughing. You'll find, now I'm just going to ask my grandson to pass my coffee. Please pass that there. I need this. Pass that coffee there, son. Yeah. I think I need something warm on my chest. So yes, I don't know why YouTube put this back here, because this is an excellent thing for people to see just how their country is faring up. as compared to other countries. But to be honest, I would literally look at China. China with only 3,000 deaths, with 3,200 deaths, with 81,000 cases. I would look at that because obviously they've done something right. One of them I did notice is with the Chinese government, they did spend money. But on here, Russia, can I see Russia? Right, Russia. Only 63 cases, no deaths. Russia shut its borders straight away. Literally, Russia clamped down on it from day one. As soon as China announced the coronavirus, Russia shut its borders. Russia started to protect its people. See, in Russia, as in China, it doesn't matter, the cost has to be borne by the government because that's what their job is. And they were protecting and did protect their people by the looks of it. But you take a look at all the other countries, the ones that are so-called well-off countries, and then you think, like Italy, supposed to have had an excellent health service, and that collapsed. All right, yeah, health services throughout the world would come under a big, massive strain with this coronavirus. But unfortunately for the British one, we only have three ventilators per 1,000 people. That's the government figures. I don't believe. I think we've got less than that because already they're crying out for ventilators up in Scotland. You see, the government doesn't care about people's health, doesn't care about the NHS. They will run it down to sell it to Donald Trump. The thing is, three ventilators per 1,000 people. That's what the British NHS has got. As compared to 7 ventilators per 1,000 people in France. But what's even better, Germany, 22 or 21, something like that. You'll have to take a look. Ventilators per 1,000. So I can see Germany's going to do okay on keeping people alive. But the British, the way our NHS, what used to be the best NHS in the world, could handle anything and did handle other pandemics, you can call it. We've handled all kinds of Chinese flu for years. We've handled all kinds. There's never been a problem that a British NHS couldn't solve. And now where we have it again, we got another Tory doing another Churchill. I said, like Churchill. Churchill is a man that he said, when he said after the Battle of Britain, regarding the British Royal Air Force, which was a fantastic air force, and Churchill said, never in the field of human conflict has so much been owed by so many to so few. And then when David Cameron got in, with this austerity, making the working class pay for the richest theft and skullduggery, that's what I call it. It's now, in the field of human finances, never has so much been taken from so many to give to so few. And there's Johnson banging the thing. He's talking about, we need more ventilators, and they're asking even car companies to make more ventilators. I mean, how many people are going to be kept alive on a ventilator made by a car company? They don't have the expertise in making ventilators. That's by a proper medical facility company that makes stuff like that. But we just don't have them, do we? And there's not enough for sale. He's left it far too late. Why didn't he put these on order? It's stupid. Then he's there at the JCB factory today. And he's putting out good news about the thing. And the JCB's promised to do all the help they can do. Well, yeah, they've got bulldozers to bury the dead. This is it. The best thing, I think, the next thing Johnson's going to put out there is that he wants all councils to start buying pick-up beds and then drive around the street slowly shouting out the window, "Throw out, you're dead." We know where that phrase come from, didn't we? So he now was telling all the pensioners, self-isolate. You know, put yourself in quarantine. People like myself, yeah, and all the old age pensioners. Anyone over 70, put yourself, self-isolate. And don't come to the NHS. There's no room for you. And if you're looking for a ventilator, you'll have to wait in the queue. That's the British for you. That's the British mentality now. God, I'll tell you what. I've got Jeremy Corbyn. Personally, I don't have a big liking for Jeremy Corbyn, but I'm sitting there listening. The guy's talking sense. The guy's talking a lot of sense. You know, I liked it when he was stood in the House of Commons and he said to Boris Johnson, straight opposite to him, he's telling us about that poor guy. He was a semi-professional football player and he became ill. So then he was on benefits and the DWP stopped his benefits and he said, please, don't stop my benefits. And it was the bailiffs that found him starved to death. He was dead. Starved to death. That is the type of government that you have got. They didn't care about that man or the others that's died. There's plenty of others cases like that. They didn't care about that. They only cared about taking that money, what he probably earned, and he paid his taxes and his national insurances in for. They only cared about taking that to give to the rich, the elite. You know, that treasury, the free-for-all for the thieves. And then he didn't care about that. He's never cared. They've never cared for the past 10 years about all these poor people that's starving to death in this country. And then the pensioners that's dying of cold, hypothermia in the winter. They don't care. They really don't care. You start to look at it. And believe me, I don't care. All these middle-class people that think the Tories are going to look after them, you're mistaken, because he wants to do away with the middle class. He just wants that's those that have and those that don't. And so there's no room for a middle class, is there? You can't think about it that way. It's the middle classes that's putting this party in. But you've got to look at it, the DWP, what the Tories have done. They don't care about life. They don't care. If they did, that man wouldn't have been found by the bailiffs dead in his flat of starvation. That is in the 21st century. This is in the millennia. We have a man who died of starvation because of this government. But he's not the only one. There is quite a few people that's died of starvation. Quite a few people that's died of hypothermia. All the people that could die of this pandemic. Can you see where I'm going? He's trying to get rid of us all. So I'm hoping everybody that's over 70, everyone in my condition, really, really make sure you don't get it. If you do everything you can to make sure you stay safe. Stay safe, everybody. Don't give the Tories what they want. Don't die for them. On that note, a big thank you to everybody that everyone that comes to my channel, and a big thank you and a special welcome to all the newcomers. Goodbye.